Stampers, welcome to another episode of Card Play. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very simple sympathy card, both the inside and the outside. We unfortunately had a friend's father pass away, and this card came to me as I was walking around, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. So let's get started. I'll show you how to make the card. First, you're going to need a piece of Whisper white cardstock. This piece is 3.5 inches by 2.25 inches. We're also going to be using our Pocket Silhouettes stamp set, and specifically we're going to be using this leaf image. The other stamp set we're going to be using, just so you can have that at the ready, is our Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. All kinds of greetings here. We're going to be using this small with Sympathy stamp. We're also going to be using two different colors of ink. One is going to be our basic gray classic ink, and then this ink is actually retired now, the Going Gray classic stamping ink. You can probably get the exact same effect by just stamping off your basic gray color. I'm going to go ahead and use the Going Gray, and again, you can probably get the exact same effect by stamping your ink off once or twice before stamping onto the paper to get this dual tone effect. We're going to start with the lighter color, so I'm going to start with the Going Gray. We're just going to ink up this stamp, and this is pretty random, a random pattern. We're just going to stamp a number of times this lighter gray image onto this piece of cardstock. And then we're going to come in, and because that was a lighter color ink, I'm not going to wash my stamp prior to dipping it into this darker color. Now we're going to go with the basic gray, and again, just kind of randomly stamp the darker basic gray color on this same piece of cardstock. Do just a little bit more right there. Great. Now what we're going to do is just round 3 of these corners. I have this corner rounder. It does 1/2 inch rounded corners through pretty thick chipboard and thick cardstocks. So we're just going to round those 3 different corners. And now I want to add a little bit of Dazzling Diamonds. I wondered about that. Would that be appropriate for a sympathy card? And I really like how subtle it came out. So we're going to take our Dazzling Diamonds glitter, which will get everywhere no matter how much you try to contain it, and a little bit of two-way glue. If you wanted to try to make your Dazzling Diamonds a little less sticky on your cardstock, you can take your embossing buddy and just try to get any static off of your cardstock in advance. And again, very random, just some dots, and I like it on the lighter colored gray. Just going to put some random spots toward the up and then a little bit down, random spots of glue, and then we'll put some Dazzling Diamonds right over that and tap off. And this is where the Dazzling Diamonds goes everywhere, no matter what you do. I also like to flick it a little bit rather than just tap off, and that's really nice and sweet. Now you're going to need just a small scrap piece of paper of Whisper white cardstock, and also a piece, again a scratch piece of brushed silver cardstock. We're going to once again be using our darker colored gray ink, so this is the basic gray ink, and we're going to stamp that with Sympathy greeting from the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set onto the Whisper white. Then we're going to take our small oval punch and punch out that greeting. And now we're going to take our medium oval punch, so you can see it's one size up from the small one, and just punch out an oval from the brushed silver cardstock. We're just going to use a little bit of snail to adhere this greeting onto the brushed silver cardstock. Try to center that a little bit better. And now we're going to use a couple of dimensionals, and you'll notice here that I have this a little bit off the edge of this piece, so I'm going to mount my dimensionals a little bit to the left on the back of the greeting. So we'll put one there and one there, and we'll go ahead and adhere it Again, going off the edge just a little bit. There we go. I also want to make sure that we stamp the inside of this card, so before we put this card together, I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock. This is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches to go on the inside. I'm going to grab my piece of scratch paper again, since we're going to be stamping, and also grab this stamp again. And I'm going to take my Going Gray ink, and let's ink that up just a little bit, and just go ahead and stamp here in the corner. Then we're going to take the basic gray ink again and ink that up, and again just stamp that probably twice, maybe a little bit more up here into the corner. And since I really enjoy my Dazzling Diamonds, we're going to use a little bit of two-way glue here as well on a few of these leaves. Little bit of two-way glue, and one more time with our Dazzling Diamonds. I didn't use the embossing buddy this time, so we'll see how much static I have, or if I can get this Dazzling Diamonds off of this cardstock. Not bad. There we go. And let's assemble our card. Let's take a piece of basic gray cardstock. This is 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches, and I scored it down the middle and folded it. And we're going to do the inside of this card first. I'm going to use my large tape gun just because it makes things go a little bit faster for video purposes. Now we need to adhere our piece to the outside of the card, and to do this I like how it looks a little bit popped up, so we're going to use some dimensionals on the back. Great. Let's take our card and go ahead and center that in the middle of the card and press. And there you have it. That's our Simple with Sympathy card, made with pocket silhouettes and teeny tiny wishes. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Card Play. I look forward to seeing you again soon here in the craft room.